All right, so this is part 3 of the Brick Breaker game. Um, this part we kind of already did the paddle. We've done the soccer ball. We've put when what should happen if the person loses, what should happen if they should win. Now the last thing we need to do, and since we added this scoreboard, is how is the score going to be kept? And it should happen where it should hit a block, and after it hits a block, they should get a point for it. So with that, we're going to have to create a fifth object. In this case, we're going to want a block, and I'm actually going to choose one from the library. And let's go to things. And I'm actually going to use this gray box. Let me see if maybe. Yeah, I'm going to choose this gray box. If you want to choose this or this one that says button 3, if you want to choose button 2, by all means go. Maybe you may want a bunch of bowls. Be as creative as you like. So I'm going to add now this other object. And these are going to be my blocks. So when the ball hits these blocks, it's going to give the user a point. And I'm actually going to name these right now. They're called button 3 block. So that way I give my object a name. And I want these to appear when the game starts. So I'm going to go again, make sure it has, when you click the green flag when the game starts. And I want to create an if statement. So kind of a decision. I want to say if the ball touches the block. So if I go here and I say if touching the soccer ball, and notice all of my objects are here, the previous 4. So I'm going to put soccer ball because that's what it's called. And when it does that, I want it to bounce. If you recall, the computer already knows what bounce is. We told it what to do when it gets that message of bounce. So I don't need to do that again. However, once it bounces, I want it to hide. I want the block to go away. So let's hide that. And then I also want to give the player a point. So it's change score by 1. So what this is saying, when I click start, the block is going to show up. When the soccer ball touches it, I want it to send the message bounce, which means that if you recall, it's going to do an operation 180 minus the direction it was coming from. And then I want the block to hide, and I also want to give the user 1 point. And I kind of want to do this forever. I want it to do it throughout the game. And if I go to my controls, actually, I should see a forever. And let's put that there. Okay, so forever, so throughout the game, it's going to do all these things. And let's test it out. Let's see what happens. So here I am playing my game. Still haven't been able to, oh, and there it is, it disappeared. However, let's be a little bit more creative, and notice also it did give me that 1 point, so it is working. However, let's be a little bit more creative and add something so when the block actually goes away, it has some sort of special effect. And what I mean by that, if you see sometimes with games, for instance, in Madden, when they score a point, a touchdown celebration happens. So same thing here. When it hits the block, I want to do a special effect to make it cool, to kind of add an extra feature to the game. And to do that, let's do the repeat. And I'm going to do it on the side first. And then I'm going to go to my looks. And let's change the color effect. Now, over here, this is different effects that you can change. This 25, think of it as multiple. So multiply it by 25. So make it darker. So it's going to change the shading of the block. It's going to either become, usually that means it's going to become darker. So it's going to be a darker gray. I want it to go ghost. So it's going to be transparent. And if you scroll down, notice the different things it can do. I'm gonna do a ghost so it looks like it's disappearing. However, I don't want it to disappear too quickly, so let's do that by 5. And then I want the block to get smaller, so kind of like if it's going away. And let's change size. So let's change size by, and I notice this one is a 10, so that means it's going to get even bigger or larger if you leave it at 10. We want it to be smaller, so let's do -5. And then what about, let's make it spin. Let's make it spin around. So let's do this one turn, and we'll leave it at 15 degrees. So it's going to spin counterclockwise at 15 degrees. Now that I have this, I need to put it somewhere so it knows that, hey, when the ball touches the block, I want you to do these effects. And notice in my coding here, I want this to happen right after it goes, right after it receives this message of bounce. So I'm going to put it right there. And let's see what happens. So let's stop it. Let's press play. Up. But my block is not showing. Notice the block is not showing at all right now. So in order to do that, we're going to have to do, and this is where bugging comes into play. We want to actually show the block when the game starts. So let's go to, and this happens, and I'm doing this video game as I talk to you. Like I don't do it beforehand and then do it. And I'm doing it because I'm trying to show you how sometimes things do not go the way that they should be going. But that's perfectly fine. We're here to find solutions. So let's go to looks and let's go to show. And let's see. Up, there's the block. And let's see what happens if the ball hits it. Oh, there it is. So it kind of spin, it rotated. So it did what it was supposed to do. And that should, now when I press, notice when I press the green, it's going to show how it was as it left. So it's not going to reset itself. So we're going to have to do something to reset the block. And to do that, let's go to set size. And let's do that to not 60%, but we'll say 75% of the original size. And I want it to be pointing downward. So if you think math pointing downward, that's 90 degrees. So I want it to point 90 degrees. And let's see what happens if I press green. Yep. So now my block is, and if I press, my block is showing up how it originally was. Up, and I press the stop button, there it is. And we could actually make this larger. You can make objects larger by clicking on this where it says grow. And then if you click on the object, it will make it larger. Maybe a little too large there. So there we go. All right. So that takes care of the blocks. At this point, we only have one block. So because we only want one block, and if we go to the win object, we saw that they need to score at least 5 to win. Let's say they need to hit 10 blocks. So we're gonna put 10 blocks. And in order to do that, we need to make 9 more. However, we're not going to do this again. Think of like Microsoft, copy and paste. If you right click, you'll see a menu appear and you'll see the duplicate. So hit duplicate, and we'll do that. And notice, just like when you save a document, you cannot save the document under the same name. Same thing, you cannot have objects under the same name. So Scratch is automatically giving it a new name. Lucky for us that they're numbers, so it makes sense. So this is block, and then block 2, block 3, etc. And then we need one more. So we have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and one more, 10. So there we have 10 blocks. And now I'm going to rearrange these. So they're lined up. And again, if you want to, maybe I've seen some brick breaker games where they leave a path. Actually, that's too much spacing. So let's do that. If you want to leave less spacing, or maybe you want to make them really close together, that's up to you, of however you want to start the game. There. So let's play the game. Let's see if it works. And so it's hitting the ball, hitting that one. Let's see if I could get that final one. Oh, there it is. You win. And let's try it again. Oh, I lost. So game over, loser. Try again. Let's try it again. Let's see if I can win a second time. And there it is. Okay, and I stop. And then from here, you can, maybe you think that the game is too easy. So for instance, I can make this ball now smaller. So if I go there and then let me press start, you see the ball is a lot smaller. Maybe you want to make the paddle smaller. Maybe you want to speed up the object, you can do that. And that is your call of however you want to do it. So make it as creative as possible. Have fun with it. I hope you've been enjoying making this game. And to share it, want to be able, and make sure you are saving this. So over here where it says save now, to share it, you hit the share button. Remember, part of the assignment is for you to share with me. And then if you go to, there is a link. Let's see where that link is. Oh, there it is. There's this share link right here. So when you double click that, and this link is actually something where you can give other people to play your video game. Another part of the assignment is going to be where you need to show videos of people playing your game. So when you share this assignment, just double click there and share that link with me so I can see your project. I hope you've had a lot of fun with it. And again, if you ever have any other questions, do let me know.